Greetings, mobile accomplishers. I am Dieter Bohn here for the third annual Smartphone Round Robin. We are at PreCentral, of course, and we are taking a look at the iPhone. And I am lucky to have sitting right next to me Rene Ritchie of the iPhone blog. Hey, Rene.
Hello there, Dieter.
And so you've got your iPhone here. This is the iPhone 3GS, of course. And the only way we can tell it's a 3GS is because it says it's 32 gigs.
Yeah.
And I mean, what do you think about that? That over the course, the past year went from the 3G to the 3GS. The form factor stayed exactly the same. They basically just added more power, right?
Yes.
And is that okay? Are you comfortable with
Yes,
that? You like the form factor?
I'm incredibly happy with that because all my accessories still work.
Right. There you go. Well, you've got an alert here, and I don't want to lose your alert, but I want to get on to the rest of the demo. So how can I close this alert without missing the fact that it happened?
Well, luckily, Apple has the most advanced notification system in the mobile space. And
Okay.
You can seamlessly use alerts without... No, it's horrible. It's a big little dialog box. And yeah, you have to get rid of it. You either act on it immediately or you lose it forever.
Well, it does badge the icon, so I see that there's a bunch of App Store updates here. So that's one thing that we don't have on the WebOS is you can get little numbers next to a whole lot of things, whereas on the WebOS you just plain don't. So that's nice. Man, how many apps is the official App Store up to?
Over 100,000, and only a small percentage of those rejected.
Right. And I mean, as a WebOS user, I suppose one thing to note is the quality of the games is quite different than what you can get available on the Palm Pre, just because you got full native access in the SDK,
Yeah.
right?
And OpenGL 2.0 on this device, and
Sure.
it's a big fat CPU and GPU.
Yep. Okay, so we got an introductory. Yeah. So I mean, that's pretty darn impressive there. We'll do a quick race, and yeah. That's pretty darn good. Wow, this is a lot of selecting stuff.
They give you options, Dieter.
I guess. So, what is new in the iPhone 3GS over the iPhone 3G hardware-wise?
You've got a processor. You have the Cortex A8, I think the ARM chip, which I think is the same one as the Pre.
Okay.
You have a better GPU, still a Power VR, but it's a better version of it. It's generally Apple says twice as fast in every regard as compared to the last one.
Right. And so with all that processor power and that RAM, it seems like the natural thing to do is introduce some sort of multitasking.
Well, Dieter, the iPhone flawlessly multitasks all of Apple's built-in applications.
Okay.
They are just forbidden to allow any other application to multitask at this point. And yes, it's vexing, but I am hoping Apple finally invents multitasking next.
Well, let me actually ask you if it's vexing, because I want to give you a fair reading here. It seems to me that let's jump out of this and go into the phone. Is it really that painful for you to not have true multitasking?
Most of the time people say they want to stream music in the background. I don't have any streaming music desires, so for me it's not. When I think of multitasking, what I really think of, on WebOS you have that beautiful card view, but what I would like is a card view where you could have more than one card actually active at the same time, and you could use more of a desktop metaphor to drag things between them. That's where multitasking would be really powerful.
Okay, so moving. Well, I mean, yeah, you can cut and paste, but you can't move stuff in between cards in the WebOS. That would be pretty neat. Yeah. But I mean, for you, honestly, it's not a problem at all. It doesn't affect you. Okay.
Notifications affect me a lot more.
Yeah. So I mean, how do you expect Apple could fix that? I mean, would they copy Android and put it up top? Would they there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of space in the interface. They seem pretty kind of locked in. I mean, they did add search here. Oh, look at that one with the camera. Okay, so that was a double click.
Just click once, you'll go to search.
And then I'll go there. Okay. Oh, can I click once from the home screen?
Go back and forth, yeah.
Oh, that's kind of clever, I guess.
You can choose what you make the double click work for. I just chose the camera because I wanted fast access to it.
Right, and you don't have a dedicated camera button.
No. In fact, they might get rid of some of the buttons we still have, so I'm being very quiet about it. But yeah, the notifications, I mean, they could steal from anybody at this point, and I'd be happy. Some of the applications, like the Facebook app for iPhone, has a little notification bar along the bottom. That's fairly well done.
Right.
So the developers are definitely putting some ideas out there. Apple just has to pick one. Which is what happened with cut and paste. We saw a bunch of different, developer jailbroken cut and paste solutions. Apple came up with one eventually.
So I'm speaking of things that are shared between the Pre and the iPhone. I'm trying the universal search, so I just typed in PreCentral.net, And what's really interesting is it did a good job finding myself and Derek Kessler a bunch of emails from us, searching directly from Universal Search. That's really cool. The WebOS doesn't do that. It also found our contact information because I've got PreCentral.net in my username or my email address. But what it didn't do is give me a chance to say search the web. So if you want to search the web, you definitely got to go straight into the web app. Okay.
I think Apple's still a platform company. They want to see what's on your device, and they're not really that interested in what's in the cloud yet. They figure you'll go to the web browser for that.
Right. Was it a shock for you coming to America and AT&T, or has it been good for you so far?
I got the shallow end first.
I should actually. Renee's not like a total, like, he's never been to America before. But anyway, what was it?
I got 4 full bars of AT&T, and I was really happy, and I thought everyone in America had been lying to me, and then you explained to me that the bars had no correlation to the actual service.
Right, which is definitely the case.
And then I was sad.
And yeah, well, I mean, it's weird because, we've got full bars, and you'd think that full bars with 3G service, we'd have much faster page load times here, and it's definitely not the fault of the iPhone. I can tell you that.
And up in the frozen north, I actually have 7.2 HSPA, so I'm used to it being much zippier than this.
There we go. We got, and just like the Pre, we've got this, and we got the zooming. So what is it from the Pre that you covet? Besides, we've talked about notifications, right? And we've already talked about multitasking. Yeah. I mean, those are the main things, right?
Those are the big things for me. Those are Apple did a really good job in iPhone 3.0 of addressing the small concerns like MMS and cut and paste and stuff like that. But those are the 2 big glaring concerns. And the third one I spoke about with Kevin before is that there's so much notification now. They're going to have to give us a way of managing it, because if you suddenly get 1,000 push notifications, there's no sane way of prioritizing them or figuring out which ones you have to act on now as opposed to later. And I think that'll be the next battle, is just the interruption management. Right.
Well, I mean, do you think they're going to get there?
Not quickly, but yes. Okay. One day, I have hope they'll come down from the mountain. They'll bestow it upon me.
So what's the feature on the iPhone that keeps you on the iPhone that you cannot live without? Is it this app store here and the 100,000 apps?
It is a couple of those apps. Like I love the Twitter applications. I think the iPhone has an embarrassment of riches when it comes to that. But really, it's just the web in my pocket. It's exactly what that very first iPhone ad said. It's a really good representation of the internet that I can have access to anywhere.
Sure. Well, I mean, the web browser isn't that much worse on the WebOS, so there must be something else, right?
It's the Apple ecosystem. I mean, it works so well with everything else that I do and everything else that I have. It just works. And also, I like the UI better on the iPhone.
Well, how come? Is it familiarity? Is it because it's Mac-like?
It's just design. I find for whatever reason, the WebOS, it's kind of lower contrast for me, and I find the iPhone, it works in a way that's very intuitive for me.
Sure. And that glass screen is nice. I do wish I had a glass screen on the Pre or the Pixie.
I've got a new anti-smudge repellent coating on this one.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Which apparently doesn't poison our brain through our fingertips.
Yeah, we've got a little bit of smudge, but not too bad. And actually, you know what it is that the smudge might still be there, but I just wiped it on my pant leg, and it's pretty close to pristine now, which is nice to see. And you really don't mind the software keyboard?
I much prefer the software keyboard, and I've spoken about this with other people. There's no muscle action required to type. And I had a Trio 680 before the iPhone, and I would just stop using the keyboard because I hated having to press those tiny keys. And this, it's effortless.
Yeah, look at that. I type just really fast. I mean, I've used this software keyboard quite a bit, but I got 2 errors there just going, all out, and that's not too bad. I still prefer the hardware keyboard myself, but I could see how with just a little bit of practice this is great. And then if you're two-hander, you can do that. I just can't stand how much the screen this hides. Yeah. It really drives me crazy.
I never use landscape mode.
Can you turn it off?
No, it took 3 versions to get it on, Dieter, and it'll take a couple to get it off.
So in the iPod app, does it do that thing too, where you can't turn off that? Because I remember when I was using an iPhone full time, I would set it down in my car flat, and then I'd take a sharp turn, and it would it would go into landscape mode, and then I would be stuck in landscape mode in my car, and it would be harder to interact with it, and so it was tough to listen to music with the iPhone.
No, we don't have basic options for things like that. Okay. That is vexing. You can jailbreak your iPhone to do all sorts of wondrous things.
Right. Well, actually, we should talk about that, except we're totally over, and so we're going to cut this later. Pause. I'll edit this. It'll be awesome. All right, well, sweet. Thanks very much, Rene. We will be talking about the iPhone the rest of the week, so we'll have PreCentral's take on it later in the week, and we'll catch you later.
Thank you.